New Year's goals that stick, the inner work approach. Most people don't fail their New Year's goals because they're lazy. They fail because their goals were never designed for who they actually are. They were designed for who they think they should be. And if you've ever started January motivated only to feel frustrated, disconnected, or quietly disappointed a few months later, this video is for you. In this video, I want to show you a different approach to New Year's goals. One that actually sticks. Not because you push harder, but because it's aligned with your inner world. We talk about why discipline breaks down for high-performing people, why goals repeat themselves year after year, and how to design goals that support your energy, your nervous system, and the life you're here to live. I spent the last 18 years guiding people through this work inside of our programs like Awaken, the Inspire Yoga Teach Training Program, the Inner Circle Program, and people I work with are capable, intelligent, and often successful on the outside, but they reach these moments when they realize, if I keep setting goals the same way, I'll keep getting the same year. Everything I'm sharing here comes directly from that lived work. Now let's be honest, you don't lack ambition, you don't lack intelligence, you probably don't lack discipline either. What you might recognize is this. You set goals based on what looks impressive, what you think you should want, and what might finally make you feel fulfilled. And then somewhere along the way, resistance shows up, motivation drops, and you achieve the goal and still feel empty. So you turn on yourself. But the problem isn't you. The problem is that goals were designed for the mind alone, and while the body and emotional system were never consulted. As Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Unconscious patterns don't disappear in January. They quietly shape your year unless you meet them. Why the same year keeps repeating? Here's something most people miss. Many New Year's goals are built on avoidance. Avoiding exhaustion, dissatisfaction, emotional truth, the sense that something in life isn't aligned. So the goal becomes, next year I'll finally be better. But when the foundation hasn't changed, discipline collapses because you're pushing against yourself. This is why discipline only works when it's built on alignment. Or as Aristotle put it, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Habits stick when they're supported by your inner state, not when they're forced. Goals that stick aren't just about the next 12 months. They're about designing an aligned life. This is exactly what we do in Awaken when we design your Awakened life. Where are you now? Where are you actually going? And what's the honest path between where you are now and where you're going? This is where the inner work approach comes in. Stage 1, feel. Awareness before action. Before you set a single goal, ask, how do I genuinely feel at the end of this year? Where am I tired? Where am I fulfilled? Where am I overriding myself? As Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing what a good person should be one. Stop arguing with yourself through goals and start listening. Stage 2, heal. Release before building. Most people try to build a future while dragging unresolved emotional weight behind them. Healing doesn't mean living in the dark. It means having the courage to meet what's there, so it no longer runs your life from the background. As Carl Jung also said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. And once that work is done, you do move towards the lighter frequencies of clarity, ease, and joy. Stage 3, manifest. Goals from alignment. From this place, goals feel different. They're not driven by shoulds. They're not fueled by self-pressure. They're aligned. As the Buddha said, what you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create. When thoughts, feelings, and actions are aligned, discipline becomes natural. And as Gandhi defined it so simply, happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. That's what goals that stick feel like. Right now, between Christmas and New Year, is the most honest moments of the year. Patterns are visible, noise has quietened, and your body is already speaking. As Seneca said, if a person knows not which port they sail, no wind is favorable. This is the moment to choose direction. And if you're listening and thinking, this makes sense, but I don't want to figure it out alone, that's exactly why I created the Elevate Inner Work Challenge. It's a free 7-day journey where I guide you through grounding practices, emotional awareness, nervous system regulation, reflection, release, and healing work. You can simply relax into the structure that is created within the challenge for you. And it's designed for now, before you roll into January, carrying the same patterns again. The link is below if it feels right. My closing thoughts. New Year's goals that stick don't demand more from you. They meet you where you are and invite you forwards with integrity. They draw you to a future. That's how manifesting works. Or as Rainer Maria Rilke wrote, the future enters into us in order to transform itself in us long before it happens. This is where that transformation begins.